Hey, what's up? It's Jack, and welcome to episode 8 of the Road to World Record series, where I document my progress towards breaking the world record and solving as many Rubik's Cubes blindfolded as possible within 1 hour, but accurately. So yeah, for this week, I had a competition on the weekend once again, and I only had 2 weeks to prepare. So that was fun. So I decided initially that I wanted to go for 30 cubes, so yeah, once again, I practiced on the evening, which was the time my attempt was in the competition. And first attempt with 30 cubes, I don't know exactly what happened, but I think my concentration just died early on and continued dying later on. So I went like well over the hour and it was just a trash attempt. Probably less than 20 solves below the hour. And next attempt went like not too much better. I decided to go back to 28 cubes because I think in the past I decided that I wanted to go the slightly more ambitious route and just kind of YOLO it at like 30 cubes if this was me like maybe a few weeks ago or something. But I kind of realized recently that like every single big competition attempt I've done, with the exception of one, I've always hit the hour limit, which should like never really happen. So I really wanted to make sure I didn't do that. So like once again, I wanted to make sure my attempts were below 55 minutes at home to allow a bit of room for error. So yeah, reduced down to 28, but yeah, once again, didn't go too well. I made a bit more execution errors than usual, which normally don't happen. So I was kind of thinking I'd probably have to turn a bit more carefully next time. Also just some like memorization stuff as well in the mix. And yeah, after that it was basically just the competition. Yeah, went for 28 again. Memorization I think seemed okay. I think it ultimately ended up being a bit slower, like maybe a couple of minutes slower. I think memo was like 45 minutes versus like the 41 to 42 minutes at home. So it's a good thing that I gave myself a bit of extra room for error. And ultimately, my execution ended up being like really quick because my memo like stuck really well and my recall was like on point. And I wound up finishing with a time of 56 minutes and 48 seconds, which is fairly fast for execution. I think I said that already, I forgot. And final result was 24 out of 28, which is personal best in competition finally. It took so long. So I was definitely glad to get that. Plus 24 cubes was my goal. So when I saw that, I was just like, I am content. I have achieved my goal. So yeah, barely, but it still counts. But another thing I noticed was that 2 of the cubes were like totally scrambled, which is like a concerning sign. Like if I made like, memorization error or something, or even execution error, usually I expect to see maybe only a couple pieces messed up, which is the typical kind of multi-blind DNF. Or even like, a lot of stuff messed up, but still like maybe a few pieces solved here and there. But those 2 cubes were like totally scrambled, and I'm just like, what? So now I was just kind of thinking back to why they might have been DNF, and I also asked my judge which cubes they were. And yeah, after going through that, I kind of realized what I probably had done. Still, I have to look at more on the bright side and recognize that it's a really solid stepping stone towards the world record, which is still far off, but I mean like the first decent multi-blind result of competition for this series. So I have to take that, and I am content. Yeah, next competition for multi-blind for me is actually in Japan, for the Japan Championship. So I hope to see some of you guys there if anyone in Japan is watching this, or is going to Japan that is watching this. Hoping to attempt 34 cubes, that's the plan at the moment. So I have like 3 cubes room for error that I can mess up and still get oceanic record, which is my goal for that. But yeah, we'll see. My initial plan was to try and win the competition, but then Yu Cheng Chen came along, so that's probably not going to happen anymore. So the question of the week is, what do you find the most nerve-wracking event to do in competition? Because I know some people find certain events more stressful than others. So I'm curious to know what your thoughts are. And that's it. See you next week.